To be the head coach at Providence College, to me, is like a dream. I'm a Rhode Islander through and through. I'm a Providence College public school education kid through and through. And that's why when we do lose games, I have a totally different pressure than maybe any other coach in the history of this program that ever ran it, because they are not Providence. I feel I am Providence.
Hey.
Clark, how are you?
Hey, great to see you, man.
Great to see you.
Good to be able to hang out with you and have a conversation here in your lovely home, man.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Welcome to our home.
Glad to be here, bro.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Ed, I've got to start with last season. For your team, for you personally, talk about what that meant to you to have the success on a personal level, Naismith Coach of the Year, and then to be here in Providence coaching this team to a historic season.
When I look at last season and you put it in perspective, 3 miles from a home I grew up in, a mile and a half from the high school I went to, always wanting to be at Providence College. As a player, I dreamed about being a player, to actually win the league for the first time in the history of the school, to be a Sweet 16 team, to be honored with the coaching accolades, to be home, to do it in front of your people, our people. It's just amazing to me.
Yeah, let's go back then to the beginning, since you took me there, in terms of a dream realized to be the head coach here. Talk about your journey and how that has forged you in the role that you now have.
So to be the Providence College men's basketball coach is like a Dickens novel. Like, I wasn't supposed to be the coach at Providence College. Born and raised here in the city, there wasn't a lot of dreams for us kids. It wasn't a lot of dreams or things you could aspire to. From the coaching side, every coach that's ever been there was white. The black coach was John Thompson, of which practiced at our high school in 1986. He let me watch practice.
Wow.
I was wide-eyed. And I said, one day I want to be a coach. I want to be a coach. I was inspired then. And when you fast forward it now to actually be the coach there from a building that I used to sneak into, just having a dream. Like, why not? And lo and behold, that came true some years later.
Here we go, get it out, let's go! Through, go, get the gap!
Coach Cooley means everything to me, It was tough playing last year at my previous school, but, when I came here, Coach Cooley just made me feel like myself again and, just gave me a lot of confidence to be myself and play my game. I can't ask for a better coach to play for.
Zero communication there. You guys commit the crime, then don't want to go to jail. Talk.
Every time I see him, he's always challenging me to better myself. He definitely challenged me to become a better man, challenged me to be more open and communicative.
If everybody in the world was like Coach Cooley, if everybody cared for the people around them and put people around them first and not themselves, I think the world would be a better place. He changed my life forever, and I will always be grateful for that.
I want to use a leadership position to inspire, motivate, teach, advise. I want to be there when the lights are out, and I want to make sure that I do everything I can to help you get to the next spot. I'm not a coach. I just happen to have that as a title. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a friend, and I'm a giver. And those things, to me, is what makes life special. When I drive around the city and I reflect back to young Ed to now 53-year-old Ed, it's nostalgia to me. It's unbelievable, from the jobs that I had, whether it be working at the post office, whether it be working at the supermarket on Broad Street, sweeping the streets. I go down there for perspective, to never, ever forget where I come from, to go to the high schools in the city, out of the city, and speak to the young men and women about hope. I tell you, sometimes I cry. Sometimes I drive down the street that the house is no longer there to say, wow. It's amazing being here. Our home was right here. My home was the only single-family home that was on the entire block. 9 of us lived here,
was a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home where we used to think this was a big, big, big lot. Now I'm looking at it, it's still big to this day, yet in comparison to how many people actually had to live in my mother's house, wow. The basketball court would probably be where those bushes are here. Being the youngest boy of my mom's children, I would get beat up, but that's how I learned how to be tough and learned how to play. So I appreciated my brothers beating me up because it helped me become a tough kid. A lot of memories here. Good memories, sad memories, but overall, just to be back here right now is amazing.
Your beginnings were humble in the real sense of what humble
Yes.
looks like and feels like growing up. Talk a little bit about that.
There's so many people that are pushed down and they don't have that hope because they let all the adversity push them down. I look at adversity as an opportunity to get better, as an opportunity to inspire others. So being one of 9 children, our home was tough. It was tough. I love my family, I love my mom, had an opportunity to meet my dad, yet it wasn't traditional. Academics wasn't the key. Survival was the key. To this day, I still have a chip on my shoulder to prove people wrong. Every day I wake up, I want to accomplish something.
Yeah.
It's an incredible amount of gratitude, yet the attitude is like, be better than I was yesterday. But never forget where you come from. Give back, stay humble. When I look at that journey, I want my mom to be proud.
Yeah.
I want the people to be proud. A community raised me, not just one household. There were a lot of people's hands in helping me become the man I am today. Because it does take a village when you're in the situation that I was raised in. The lights didn't come on every day. The food wasn't in the refrigerator every day. I know my mom, who is an incredible person, did the best she could.
Yeah.
And later on in life, I had to learn that. You know, I had a lot of feelings inside, yet growing up and seeing her struggle, I didn't have an appreciation for until I became an adult.
Yeah. You talked about a village raising you here in Providence. You were kind of quasi-adopted, taken in by another family as a youngster. Talk about that experience in that family, if you would.
Yes, Gloria and Ed Seawright lived 2.5 blocks from Elmer Street in the south side of Providence. You know, and when I look at that, like in the grand picture of it, my life changed in 2.5 blocks. In that home it was different. It was different with respect to what it is to have a male and female in a home, to see structure, to have lights, to have autonomy to be you. And not many times we as children going through these trauma situations have a chance to be themselves. Yet meeting them, to me, was a gift. It was a gift from God, because I saw through Ed's eyes, Ed Seawright's eyes, what it is to lead, not by words, but by action. Going to work, coming home, asking you how you're doing at school, not how you're doing in basketball, football, or baseball, holding you accountable to how important education was. And as much as my family was there differently, I needed what was given on Sassafras Street.
Pop, what's up?
What's up?
Hi, Rita.
Hi, big man on campus.
Little man on campus. What's up, Pop?
Mr. Seawright is somebody who I adore. Oof, good man. When I met him, he was, I think dad, and I call him dad in a lot of different ways because he's a father figure. Someone who had 2 full-time jobs, who was always there. He didn't say a lot, but he did a lot. He cared. And I have an incredible relationship with my biological mom, yet I was in the home of many, but in particular, the Seawright family.
Oh, you know what? It takes a community to raise us, and it definitely did, and you were a big reason why, and I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
85 years old, and I don't know if there's a bigger Friar fan in the country.
Yeah, you got to keep winning.
I'm gonna try. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Love you too. Thank you.
I know academics was challenging when you headed to college, to Stonehill College. Not just the academics, but the social environment too, when you think about being a black male, coming from an environment where you didn't have all that other kids had, and yet you find a way to work through some of the adversity there.
Incredible adversity, but I learned this because I remember being at Stonehill and I called Mr. C. Right. Actually, I called Gloria. I called Gloria and I said, I don't know if I can stay here. There's not many people that look like me, speak like me, wear the same clothes I wear. They're listening to like Bon Jovi and U2 and I was like, where's LL Cool J and Run DMC,
right.
Grandmaster Flash or Houdini? And he said, you're not coming back here. And I remember calling my mom, Jane. She said, you're not coming, where you going? What are you gonna do? You're gonna need 2 or 3 jobs.
So they both stiff-armed you coming back.
Stiff-armed me. What the best thing that ever happened to me was it taught me how to be different in an environment that wasn't inclusive at that point in time. There were very few minorities at the school, which I'm very proud to say they are way more diverse now.
Yeah.
Yet when I look at that, it's probably the best thing that happened to me. It taught me how to be different. It taught me how to come out of my shell.
What shell? I can't imagine you ever being in a shell.
I know, but it taught me just it's okay to be different.
Yeah.
And Clark, when I look at that today in the leadership position that I'm fortunate to have now, if I didn't go through that growth and development to be different, there's no way I can do what I'm doing now. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about this from the standpoint of the Big East as a conference. 7 of 11 coaches in the Big East, black. Number of athletic administrators, black. It was a phenomenal picture you guys took at Media Day with that representation there. What does that mean to you in terms of where you are and responsibility as you're in that position with those other guys?
This is my 29th year in coaching. John Thompson, Nolan Richardson, John Chaney, George Ravlin, that I remember were the only black coaches in the country that we could aspire to be that looked like you. The fact that I'm the first black coach in the history of men's basketball at Providence College, I appreciate Bob Driscoll, then the athletic director, Brian Shanley, who was the president, having the courage. And I use the word courage because not many people would do that. I'm proud of them for that and I'm grateful for that. And then I fast forwarded to the Big East today, 7 of 11. It goes to tell you the commitment that people and schools have to diversity and not to take away from other schools that have people who aren't black.
That's right.
Because you have what you need at the point in time. Yet the opportunity that we're being given now, which wasn't being given in the past, allows for the younger generation of coaches who are different and not the majority to say they can too. So as an elder statesman, it is my job to continue to talk about the importance of having diversity and be a mentor to those younger minds and make sure that I continue to wave the flag of hope, because that's what it's about.
I watch you and listen to you, see all the success you've had here at Providence, your background story, being from here. Can you envision coaching anywhere else at any point?
It's a fair question, Clark, and I'm asked that a lot. And you never say never because things change. If all things stay the same, I don't think there's a better fit in the world, let alone the country, where you can inspire young men and women that come from a tough background and also inspire young men and women who have means that anything's possible. When young Ed was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, I had a bouncing ball, a determination, and a dream to do something everybody doubted. Everybody doubted that this overweight, out of shape kid all of a sudden could come back and be the head basketball coach at a place. I don't think there's a better fit. Fit is what works. Relationships are what work. Authenticity and genuine appreciation for where your feet are is where you stand. And I stand firmly on the grounds at Providence College.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're in South Providence, an area of which I grew up in. We're here at Community Prep, a school that has been growing through the years, giving back to young men and women to give them hope. It's important for these kids to know just because they're from a tough area of our community, which is growing every day, they too can be the next great leader of tomorrow, and that's kind of what we're here for.
He's my inspiration, and I really love what he's doing for our community. When he takes his time out of his busy work schedule, it's just an honor for all of us.
I've seen what he's done, and I look up to him as me in the future.
I am here as a dreamer and a believer, someone who every day woke up with a basketball, a sport, and a dream. And education became the most important part of me standing in front of you today. So to give back to something in our community like this, that's going to foster growth and development of young minds, of men and women to think big, to act big, and always give back to your community.
He remembers where he comes from. And you see him up there, and he's talking from the heart, and he means everything he says. We are important to him. The students are important to him, and we're so lucky to have him.
All right, Zeke, what game we going to watch? Which one we want?
I love that game at Xavier. Let's watch the game at Xavier.
All right, let's watch the second half of it. You got that right, because I'm an idiot with the remote.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you, I appreciate it. When we're younger, you always say, when I grow up, I want to be. And I always say I want to be a good father, you know? And I say all the time, one of my greatest regrets is I think I've been a good father. I don't know if I've been a great dad. You know, not being there in moments that were important to them, missing dances and athletic events, school events.
When I was younger, I had a really hard time with it, you know, because I felt like, you know, he would prioritize work over us. As I've gotten older, you know, I've realized a lot of things just about life, where he's doing the things that he's doing to make a living and to make life as easy as he can for myself, my sister, and I. Obviously, he grew up way differently than I did, so I'm able to talk to him and actually kind of see how he views things as opposed to how I do, and just be able to identify and empathize with him. I get why he is the way he is, and it makes me realize that we are important to him, and he might just show it in different ways than I might expect it.
I'll bet you everything in your pocket the Friars win a close one right here.
Not gonna get much.
When he comes over and when my daughter comes home, that means a lot to me. And I don't tell him enough, like, how much I love it. Man, that was a big shot.
That was a huge shot.
I wish I was in my mindset now when the kids were younger, but that's a learning thing, and you know, I can't change it, but it's something that I really value now. I wish old Eddie could have told that to young Eddie. Pretty exciting. Where's Mom?
Why are you asking me?
Because she talks to you more than she talks to me sometimes.
It's because she likes me more.
She likes you, she loves me. It's a difference.
She loves me more.
All right. Here we go, let's go.
Well, winning has been foundational to your journey, man, at every step of the way, and you picked a winner in Nerese.
Yes, I have.
What attracted you to her? I know she's local like you are from this area, but what was the connection?
It's amazing. Everything around my life has been within 6 blocks.
Yeah.
And she was 6, 7, 8 blocks up the road in Washington Park. Fast forward 2 years later, I was a high school teacher. She is a city police officer. And I went to her and said, I want to get into Division I athletics. I want to leave Bridgewater Raynham Regional High School, where I was a social studies teacher. And I said, but it's a $12,000 job. And she says, no problem, I got your back. That's when you know. You know, she says, we're getting married, we're having children, and you're gonna take a pay cut. I'll work more details. 2 years. Yet when I look at Nerese and I look at the sacrifice, because we all have sacrifices, and she retired from police work when I became a head coach at Fairfield. I'm not sitting here today if she didn't do what she does and continues to do every day. And she's just an amazing person. She has empathy, she has care, but she says, I married Ed, not the coach.
Oh, nice.
So don't ever change.
Oh, awesome. You crafted a motto or a mantra for the program as the head coach. Us, together, family. I'm throwing the words, kind of give us the genesis and the meaning of that mantra.
I remember when I was at Fairfield, and on my mind was Providence College, and I knew I wanted to take the job. Dennis Coleman is our lawyer, and he says, hey, Providence wants to meet with you. I said, I don't want to mess this up. I talked to Bob Driscoll, then the athletic director, and they offered me the job. I had, for a quiet moment, had a tear in my eye, and I'm like, this is gonna work. And a lot of people like, you're not gonna win there, you're not gonna do this there. And then I remember preparing for the press conference, nervous as hell. And I wanted everybody in the state of Rhode Island to feel and be part of what I feel is going to be something special. And I wanted us to be part of it. I wanted we to be a part of it. I wanted family to be a part of it. And I wanted to do it together. And that's where the Friars come in. Us, we, together, family, Friars. And I didn't know if it would go good, bad, but I knew I was going to put everything I had into building a program that we can be proud of, not just as the coaches, but the entire state of which I love, the entire city that I was raised in, to get that Amica Mutual Pavilion to be the hardest place in America to play. And it took some time, and we're getting there. I'm an inclusive person, almost too inclusive. I'm not trying to hide from anything. I am who I am, good, bad, but I'm gonna do everything I can to make people feel like they're part of it.
He always had the vision, always had the goals for the program and goals for himself. Like, he wanted to be great at this thing. He wanted to be great at coaching. And since we started this thing 11, 12 years ago, he's been doing that, accomplishing things on the court and impacting young lives off the court.
What drives me every day was when people told me I couldn't, or you can't, or you're not good enough. You're not this, you're not that. You know what I tell all those people right now? My name's Ed Cooley, and I'm the head basketball coach at Providence College.